Ravens live.
Memorial Weekend and shit. Let's get to it, man. Right away, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl will be. If the Super Bowl will be played before our 7 o'clock deadline tomorrow, so we're gonna play it tonight, or we're gonna play it tomorrow before we get into the off season, which will be 7 o'clock. I will be posting the off season schedule in the chat within like the next hour, and so we can lock in for Sunday. I would like to knock things out somewhere between 6 and 7 o'clock to get things done so we can get into and finish enjoying y'all little Memorial Day. I know guys will be barbecuing and doing all types of shit, but Sunday's gonna be the time we gonna get it done. Tune into Super Bowl as we go through the last rounds of the playoffs. We had the Final Four, uh, getting us to the final two. So before I get into the playoff talk, I will just do a real quick brief run over of the last 4 games that were played. All right, so you had on the AFC side, you had a battle between the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens, 1 versus 3 seed, and on the other side, you had the 5 and the 6 seed, both NFC West teams playing match up against Craig. Craig and his Seattle Seahawks find themselves back in the Super Bowl again, 49-21 ball game over there in the NFC. And on the AFC side, it was a tough ball game. This was a really good. I'll tell you one thing. Albert played a really good game. I'm gonna get into his run through the playoffs a little bit later. But right now, Albert had a hell of a series, bro, and it was a tough game. This game was strong all the way to the fourth quarter. But pitting the Baltimore Ravens back in the Super Bowl again, trying to get their first Super Bowl win of the disc. So that's going to be our Super Bowl matchups. We'll talk about the Super Bowl matchup tonight, and we'll also talk about the games, what happened in these games, 49ers, Seahawks, and Titans, Baltimore. But today is all about the Pro Bowl selection show. I want to get this out the way, knock it out, just see who guys. Now, the Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl teams, their players will not be shown in the Pro Bowl selection, but those guys, if you can go to your roster and click on your players and look at their progressions, you'll see if they're Pro Bowlers or not. So let's take a look at what happened throughout the year. Our quarterback for the NFC, our QB1s, NFC and AFC. You got Diaper Dandy rookie. The Broncos sent Eli Manning to the playoffs. Legend Eli Manning goes to the Pro Bowl. I'm sorry. He also made the playoffs. Same with Chris Leak in his first year as a full-time starter. He makes the QB #1 NFC Pro Bowl starting quarterback, and he also took his Rams to the playoffs this year as well. Adams, the Thunderbirds quarterback, first year he got traded from the Cardinals to the Thunderbirds, and he took his team to a playoff berth, being the new quarterback over there for the Thunderbirds and Coach Corey. Michael Vick has been really good since last year, his rookie season. He's in this year too, and he did a really good job for Coach Rob and the Dragons. QB3s, you got Steve Young, who played in the NFC Championship game, and Dan Marino Jr., who went home in the divisional round this year. All are QB3s. When you talking about running backs, you got first year coach Ray sends his running back Kenny Shaw to the Pro Bowl as running back #1. Curtis Martin Jr. does it again, running back #1 in the Pro Bowl, although he didn't get to play in the Pro Bowl last year because he was in the Super Bowl. You got Deuce McAllister for the Saints, and McCoy takes another running back to the Pro Bowl, and Shoguns and LaDainian Tomlinson, he goes to the Pro Bowl. We're looking at Ricky Williams as a Pro Bowl back for the Bucks, as well as Marshall for those Dragons right now. You got Jusex and Bishop at fullbacks 1. You got Moose Johnson and Bonds at fullback 2. Now, wide receiver 1, Emmett Brown for the Dragons. You got Kay Williams. He went crazy this year over there for the Vikings. They had a hell of a year. 2 dogs at the receiver position. I'm quite sure there's another Vikings receiver in the Pro Bowl. But we're looking at Perry Walton, our league's #1 receiver. And then you got Mr. Brown over there for the Orbits, the old Steelers. How about Mr. Reliable Brian Bennett for the old Packers is sitting over here in the Pro Bowl again, and Isaac Bruce makes the Pro Bowl for the Broncos. A quiet, but the number two wide receiver in the league in the AFC, you're looking at Will Falk. He's the number two best wide receiver in the league. He's kind of been quiet because of what they've been doing on the ground over the last two seasons. But up until they decided to attack the run game, I thought he was the best receiver in the league for a long time. But Mr. Walton has came in and said, not so fast, my friend. And you're looking at the other basketball player, the Towers. That's what they are, the Twin Towers with Carmichael and Williams, the Vikings, 6'8", 225. And his diaper dandy year, how legend Carmichael makes it to the Pro Bowl as well. Santana Moss the second for the Jets, the old Jets, new Oilers. And you're looking at Barclay, the Thunderbirds, number two receiver. Nan for the Giants, and Wallace. Now, who the fuck Wallace play for? I have no idea right now. Kyle Pitts is back in the league, and he's over there he'll have to put a junior on that name. But the Rams and Coach Jimbo has his tight end as number one. Ozzie Newsome is number one tight end on the AFC side of things. You're looking at Shannon Sharp the second for Nano. I traded him to him, and Cantwell, as well as tight end number two. At three, you got Chambers and Antonio Gates. Diaper dandy. Antonio Gates in the second year. I'm sorry for the Dragons. All right. You're looking at left tackles, Holcomb and Wilhelm. You got Lewis and White at left tackles too. Our left guards are Larry Allen, that is, and Silva. All right, at left guards too, you got Ray and Gray. How fun is that, Ray and Gray? Donovan at center one and Westerman at center one in the NFC. Irwin, center number two, and Pouncey, center number two. You got the Castro, right guard number one. AFC, Barnes in the NFC. Chapman and Edmonds are right guards too. Shelly Simpkins, my player, Mr. Starks, at right tackle number one. Wolf and Hegman, Big George Hegman over there for the Cowboys, over there chilling. He ain't on the Cowboys team, but Big George Hegman, boy, dog. McDonald, McDougal, and Copeland are left ends. We got some new ends up here right now too. Like you got Copeland and McDougal. You got Bruce Smith and T.J. Watt. Bradford, he balled out this year as well, just like Felix. Felix been up here for the Dolphins going crazy every year. You got Beckham at 6'7", 270, and Dwight Freeney. I don't know if that's NFC, so that is Dwight Freeney. DJ Freeney is on the Bills. You got Bell for the Commanders and Hitchens. He balled out all year for the Bengals. Moat for the Giants and Anderson, Khalif Anderson for the Oilers, locked in and balled out. He led all D tackles and sacks this year. You got John Randall at D tackle number 3 and Porter at D tackle number 3 as well. At the linebackers, you got veteran Jules Peppers the second, and then you got Sean Marin, lights out. He makes his first Pro Bowl in his first year. You got Bowman at linebacker, sitting at linebacker number 2. That we talking about the left outside linebackers at Kendricks over here for the AFC. Zach Thomas makes middle linebacker 1, and Ryan Shazier also at middle linebackers 1. Keekly is there as well at middle linebacker 2, and Manuel is number 2, middle linebacker in the AFC. You got Tommy Jones for the Dolphins and DeMarcus Ware, outside linebacker for the 49ers, sitting there. Bowman as well, along with D. Thomas III, and that's Chiefs. All right, corners 1, you got Roach for the Tennessee Titans, Barrett for the Desperados, I think they are now. Carlson for the Desperados as well. Dre Bly the second for the Oilers. Lamar Sturdivant for the Falcons, and Rondé Barber for the Dragons. You got Hampton and Carson at cornerbacks 4. 3, you got free safeties 1. You got Cam Chancellor for the Rams, Lane. You got Phillips for the Vikings, Clark. You got Bo Sanders for the Giants and Derwin James for the Bengals. Whitner for the Saints and Tillman for the Patriots. Kickers is Cohen and Anderson. Morton Anderson, the diaper dandy, makes it. Bucker and Locklear are punters.
I was trying to resign some big names, but I'm gonna miss entire off season now.
All right, just call me, Corey, or you know who they are? If you don't, I'll figure it out. But just call me, bro. I saw you ask me to call you.
Send a do not touch list.
Yeah. I got you. I got It's another person that's in Puerto Rico right now that's going to need the same situation. So I'm on it. I got you. Just all you got to do is give me or Mike their players, and we'll take care of it. And then after the when you get back, you know what I mean, we'll talk about what you missed and shit, and figure some things out for you.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
As always. I hate talking about the kick returners because they're usually guys that don't even do no shit. Like I had Percy Harvin and Peter Ward ran 3 punts and shit back. They don't never put him up there. We'll talk about it. Just hit me up. You feel me? All right, man. All right. So that's the Pro Bowl selection show. I just wanted to get through that so I can move forward the league right now. I'm not going to be on long for this show, but I am going to do a very advanced show on the Super Bowl matchup because it's history in these Super Bowls, right? Like, and it's bad history and good history, right? Like, I'm not going. We got to address the elephant in the room. The Ravens have been to 5 Super Bowls. They are 0-5 in the Super Bowl. This is their 6th Super Bowl they're playing in. And you got the Seahawks is on their way looking for a 6th Super Bowl. So it's I think Falk still hold the record of 10 straight or 10 Super Bowls in one league. Craig close though, and we got enough seasons for him to actually catch that. And we have to have a conversation if that happens. But I still love the fact that I want to talk about the history. Like, you go all the way back to season 1 and watch the fact that Jimbo took the Rams, a team that nobody would have expected to be playing in the Super Bowl, and he beat a very overmatched. He was overmatched Ravens Rams, and he came out with a scheme that just isolated us. Like, he allowed Aaron Donald to go to my weakest offensive lineman. And remember, by that time, we still didn't have abilities everywhere. I thought I was stronger, especially on the defensive side. We had a lot of abilities already built for the Baltimore Ravens. They didn't come with it. We developed it and won it in situations, right? Playing good football. And he isolated that shit. He played a really good offensive game, and defensively, I think the biggest thing he did in that game was by moving his Aaron Donald over top of my right tackle, who wasn't ready to play yet, honestly. And he dominated, kind of shut the run game down, and beat me by 5 in the Super Bowl. It was big time. Then Hoodie stole one, came right in. Now, let me not call it a steal, because Hoodie can win at any moment. He's that guy. He's that good. He's always been one of the best players in our league. And then you see Falk come and get one after playing in 3. Got one. And then Craig ran off. I think Craig won one, then he came back and won consecutives, ran 3 off or 2 off in a row, but he won a total of 5, and he's dominating the 2024 edition. He's been a guy winning multiple Super Bowls for the last, since he's actually been in the league from 21. He came in late, but then 22, once he got it together in 22, he started dominating, winning a lot of bowls. And the good thing about it is he still hungry. He ain't a guy that, shy away from trying to get back to it. He's going to do anything he can or by any means necessary to get to where he want to get to be who he want to be. And that's how you got to be when you're playing this game. You got to want to dominate no matter what, right? Like, can't take time off when you motherfucking shit ain't going right for you and all that. You got to get into it, play, man. Because the more you play, the more you figure it out. And, I always say this with my league is the more intimate you are with your team, the better you are. Prime example, Corey wasn't intimate with his team, and he was losing games that if Corey was intimate early on in the league with his team and just instead of using his skill set, hopping on and playing, he probably had multiple Super Bowls right now. And to be real talk, he might have more than just one right now. But the moment he got intimate with his team and started to pay attention to what his team was and what he needed and got to the things he needed to get to, you saw the change in it, and that put him in a category. And it's who's going to be the next guy to do that, right? Who's going to be the next guy to put themselves in that category, carry themselves into Madden 25, right? We got a big summer coming up, fellas. Not only just Madden coming up, we got real draft for Madden, but we got college football popping off, man. We about to be very active, and there's a lot to talk about. I'm not going to kill my Madden chat right now for college information, though, but soon I'm doing a show for our college chat because there's 71 players over there, and we only going to be able to play 32. So you know how it's going to go. It's going to go first come, first serve. I was doing something different with the college league, and it was going to be based on my website. and I wasn't going to charge for the league, but now it's 71 guys in there, so it's going to come the first 32 going to play. You already got your teams over there, and what's going to happen is once they get cut down to 32, and we're going to use the 4 power conferences. It's probably going to be 8 teams from each conference, so guys are going to be switching a couple teams because depending on what 8 teams we get coming in. So what I would say to y'all is don't worry about it right this second, but I will post in that chat, and it's going to be the first come, first serve because I can't. It sucks. I wish we could play with everybody. I wish every Power 4 team could be used in that league, but they decided 32, and I'm glad they even did that because I thought they would go less than 32. I've been prepared for it though. And we have multiple commissioners, so the 71 that's in that chat will still be able to play in my league. But the main league is going to be 32, and that first main league is going to be first come, first serve. So whoever paid first for their spot will be in the league, and then the next league will be the next 32, and it's going to be the next 32 that want to play, and it's not going to be a pay to play, just going to be the next 32. The main league though will be pay to play. And then also to get all the good shit, you got to get onto the website and all that stuff and follow us there to be able to get highlights and, games of the week and the things that we're going to be doing. I'll kind of keep that on the tilt. I don't want nobody stealing my shit, bro. You know how we go. Now, as far as real draft though, real draft won't be starting during the combine and all that anymore. It will be starting in the middle of the Madden now. That's why I said Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones brand will be dying after this disc, right? Unless Max wants to take over Game of Thrones and still run a Game of Thrones league. And I'm quite sure, I'll play in it. I'll always play in it because it's my brand. But like, if he's going to take the league over and you guys want to continue to play Game of Thrones, it's going to be exactly how it used to be. But real draft is going to be the main league. It's already 32 in the real draft league for Madden. Everybody that's in that league already paid their fees months ago. So that league is already full. And what's going to happen is, as guys find other shit to do, or, it's going to be guys that be like, fuck that, I just want to play college. I don't even want to play the Madden no more. And we're going to open up spots for guys, right? So as long as you're in my college league, you got an opportunity to be in my Madden league. All right, so again, the schedule will be out for the offseason tomorrow, and the Super Bowl will be played somewhere between 9:30 tonight, 9:30 tonight, and if it doesn't get played 9:30 tonight, it'll be played 2 hours before the offseason. With that being said, I'm here's the franchise guru. You already know how we do it. Holler when you holler. If you got any questions for me, oh yeah, listen, all you guys that need to drop 30-year-olds and look, I'm gonna tell y'all how it is. It don't have to be a 30-year-old. If you got a 26-year-old, you ain't playing no more because you got 2 guys for his position and he costs you too much money and you want him dropped, he'll go to normal, but you'll get the cap space back, right? So let me give an example. For example, I'll just go to, let me see, I'll go to Erica. Why are you on my face? You know what? Here, I don't even feel like talking to you about nothing right now because it's gonna be like rah, 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 rah. Rah, 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 rah. So, for example, Tyree Jet is a guy that was dropped, right? And I know Los hit me right back and said he goes to normal. But if he goes to normal, then he also going to go to a 0 signing bonus, which doesn't matter with him at 4 years because you don't have to worry about that. He going to get that money back anyway, so that won't matter. But like, if you got a guy that you want to drop, like, let me see. For example, I'll go to my team. I know my tight end is going to be up age, right? Yeah. So Kendall Gibson will get dropped. He'll go to normal because he's going to turn 30 at the end of this year. He'll go to normal, and then I'll drop his signing bonus down to 0, and I'll gather that cap space back. So a lot of you guys can gain some money back just by dropping your old players or guys you don't want to sign back. Take advantage of that, right? Instead of you having to buy cap space or whatever the case may be, you can actually gain some money back if you got a lot of old heads on your team or guys you don't care to sign back anymore. Like, I can give you an example. Again, I don't have to drop. I can, say I don't want Dion anymore. Like, I'm loaded at corner, but I want the cap space. I want that 48.3 penalty back. So I'll drop him down to normal, and then I'm going to take his signing bonus, get the money back, but he'll be a normal player in free agency at 28 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to go. With that being said, and here's the franchise guru. I'll holler at y'all when I holler at y'all. You heard?